To see you too once again. Jen, maybe we'll start with the video, Jen.
ठीक है. Sarhi Das is on the line. Fantastic.
Hi everybody. Good afternoon everyone. How is everybody? कैसे हैं आप सब?
Excited.
Everybody excited?
Good afternoon.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. First of all, guys, really exciting day today. And सबसे पहले, I want to congratulate all of you. I know all the cities had an HOM from 11 to 12, and जहां तक मुझे पता चला है, all the HOMs had record numbers today. So big round of applause. अपने लिए एक बार जोरदार तालियां बजाएं. मुझे मालूम है अभी भी many of you are still trying to close, and you closed early, closed quickly, so you can be in this for this special session. Really amazing. So एक बार जोरदार तालियां अपने लिए. Big round of applause for yourself, guys. Come on. And I know people are quickly finishing their meetings, signing up new people, joining in, because today's session is going to be very special. आज का जो session है ये बहुत ही amazing है, और मैं बता सकता हूँ इससे बेहतर शुरुआत हमारे साल की हो ही नहीं सकती. You know, this is a dream start for us in the year 2024. Absolutely mind blowing. You know, हम हर साल goals बनाते हैं कि इस साल हम ये हासिल करेंगे. We create goals every year. And you all know one of our goals is to help 1 lakh people, 100,000 people, new people this year. So आप सब जानते हैं हमारा ये goal है. We also know our vision statement. We say इस साल सबका result आएगा. Everybody will get a result. इस साल सबका पिन बदलेगा. Everyone will change their pin. And इस साल सबका check आएगा. Everybody is going to get a check. So you know that is our mission statement for this year. Everybody will get a check, everybody will get a result, everybody will change their pin. But really, कैसे हम goals set कर सकते हैं? How we can set our goals? How we can take our focus to the next level? कैसे हम अपना ध्यान, अपना काम एक अलग लेवल पर ले जा सकते हैं? उसके बारे में हम आज बात करेंगे. आज बहुत सारे नए लोग ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं. A lot of new people are here today. Just to make an announcement, ये कॉल हर्बलाइफ मास्टर क्लास फेसबुक ग्रुप में भी टेलीकास्ट हो रही है. We are very soon likely to be in a sold out situation. We will be telecasting this call in our Facebook group as well. So if you are here, but you can't, and if we are out of space, you can log in there. And if you really are out of space, we might be able to extend capacity with Zoom. We have already sent them that request. All right. And I know very quickly we are getting to full house. So congratulations, everybody. Some new people, आपको ये बता दूं, it is compulsory for you to keep your camera on. आपका कैमरा ऑन रहना चाहिए. You need to be in a full attention mode. आपको वहां रहना जरूरी है. अगर आपका कैमरा ऑफ होगा, हम आपको वेटिंग रूम में डाल देंगे. If you are not in a camera on situation, you will be in the waiting room. All right. So thank you everybody for your cooperation. I hope you are ready. I am super excited. I am living my dream life because of, you know, this opportunity. और आज से 23 साल पहले, 23 years ago, Herbalife came into my life. And when Herbalife came into my life, also walked in my mentor. आप सब जानते हैं, आप में से बहुत सारे लोग उनसे मिले हैं. Many of you have met him. Many of you have, learned from him. Many of you are living a better life because of what he has given us. So we are really lucky to make 2024 even better. 2024 को और भी बेहतर बनाने के लिए we are going to have 2 guest speakers. One of them is my mentor, the one who really taught me the first steps on how to walk in Herbalife. He taught me how to run in Herbalife. Every time I fell down, जब भी मैं गिरा, he gave me a hand, pulled me back up. And he's somebody who always gets me on track. So आप सब, you all know our training is based on that boat picture, right? And that is a picture taken in Malaysia. And the whole training we do is based on that picture. So The first person today on the call is my mentor, 15K Executive Presidency member, Mr. Wayne Levy. And our second guest speaker is an equally amazing gentleman. You know, उनके बारे में मैं जितना कहूँ कम है. He is really somebody who has deep understanding of Herbalife. He has a deep understanding of people. He has mentored some of the biggest Herbalife leaders in the world. And it is absolutely mind-blowing. I can tell you, मैं personally बहुत struggle कर रहा था. And I don't even know अगर उनको ये याद है. I'm not even sure if he remembers that. There was a time in my 23 years of Herbalife journey, I was in a tough space personally. And one of the times I met him in an international event in Singapore. And, you know, we are friends. He is a senior colleague. And मैंने उनसे बात करी, and I just told him, you know, things are a bit tough for me. And he said, Jayant, don't worry, life's happening to you. You will come back stronger. And those words really meant a lot to me, Kim, and I really hold those words even together. I remember your words were, Jayant, life happens and life's happening to you right now. So, you know, we are so lucky. He is also an author. उन्होंने एक बहुत ही जबरदस्त bestseller किताब लिखी है. It is really amazing. And we are so lucky to have these two gentlemen. इनके बीच में, between the two of them, they have close to 70 plus years of Herbalife experience. Between the two of them, इन दोनों के बीच में, इन्होंने Herbalife world के top leaders को mentor किया है. They have created successful Herbalife associates. They have created top presidents teams. They've created millionaires. They've created happy families. They've created some amazing results. They've really helped the world to lose so much weight, directly or indirectly. They've made people happier. They've given people better lives. We could not ask for two better people. Wherever we are, can we give a big round of applause? Can you please help me? Give a big round of applause. Give a big Herbalife welcome to two very special people. My mentor all the way from Australia, 15K Executive Presidency member, Mr. Wayne Levy, and one of the top leaders, a very good friend, somebody I really look up to all the time, 15K Executive Presidency member, Mr. Kim Broemer. Welcome, Wayne and Kim.
Giants, what an introduction that is. It's just unbelievable. Today's call, we're going to be really working very closely with a good friend of mine, Kim Broemer. And Kim and I, we speak together. You know, I laugh with my wife because she laughs at me. She says, how can you speak to Kim more than you speak to me? And the reality is we're very close as individuals. We share the same goal. We share the same passion. We share the same philosophies. And it's really nice by association to be able to work with Kim here on this call, Giant, with you and with many of my friends into the Indian market. Throughout the entire week, Kim and I do a series of calls that go around the world. You know, we certainly are both here in Australia and we live in Australia, but our minds are Herbalife International. You know, so we do calls into Japan, we do calls into Malaysia, we do calls right around Australia, we do calls into Indonesia. We have people from Europe on our calls. And for us, when we got the invitation, Giant, from yourself to say, would you please do a call into India? Kim and I didn't even hesitate. We just looked at each other and said it would be our honor and our pleasure. Before I hand the call to Kim, because I really want Kim to take really strong control of this call, for those of you I haven't met before, I have been in Herbalife since I was a young man. 22 years of age in 1985 is when I got started. And Herbalife was only in 4 countries back then. Today I sit here and, you know, I've got no hair and, you know, I'm a little bit haggard looking, but, you know, when I got started in Herbalife, you know, I kind of like had a lot of hair and I had a Herbalife aloe, and that was me back in 1985. And I was very fortunate, as Kim was, to be brought up and mentored by the founders of Herbalife and the inner circle that allowed Herbalife to grow. We're talking about Mark Hughes and Mr. Jim Rowan, some of the early doctors and some of the early distributors that had a real basic philosophy of how to build an organization. So I consider myself very fortunate, and constantly in my career, I want to pay it forward. Okay. And do I have to click this? Yes, save. Okay. I want to pay it forward and help as many people as I can. So for me, it's about constantly learning and then teaching and causing other people to learn so they can move forward as well. And Kim, I know, shares the same philosophy. And without further ado, I'm going to hand the call over to Kim, because Kim, you are the master at setting people up. No question about it. You've written books. You're a best-selling author. I've watched you mentor people one-on-one. I've watched you mentor people in groups, and obviously from the stage, live in person. So it's been a real privilege for me to work alongside this man, not only as a friend, but he is a kind of like a mentor to me as well. And I think I can call him a friend-tor as much as he calls me a friend-tor as well, a friend and a mentor. So allow me, Giant, to introduce everyone to Mr. Kim Broemer. Over to you, my good friend, Kim.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Wayne. And thank you very much, Giant. You know, it's really an incredible business that we're in, because in every other business out there, everybody's wanting to stab each other in the back, but we're all helping each other achieve what we want to achieve. And you, Giant, many times has helped me and some of my best people. I remember that, you know, by putting Faisal Solihin from Indonesia in front of you, when he was just a Get Team member, and, you know, you worked a little bit with him, and now he's a, you know, 20K, 4-diamond, you know, president's team member, and got an incredible business. So, you know, and Wayne, many times I've been in the same position where, you know, things are not going so well. And Wayne has gone, put his arm around me and said, hey, listen, what you got to go back and do is what Mark said, and, you know, to bring us back. So those of you that don't know my story, really quickly, I didn't do well at school. Let me just click this button here. Yeah, I didn't do very well at school. And I really wasn't interested in, you know, just having a job. I wanted to be my own boss. So I've been my own boss since I was 19 years of age. I was very lucky that I had some early mentors that actually helped me in personal development, helped me get my attitude right and work harder on myself. One of those early mentors was Jim Rowan. And I actually worked with Jim Rowan even before Herbalife, before 1982, when the company first got started. So I was very lucky that I had these mentors. And I was fairly successful. I was a businessman. I was a property developer, chairman of a public company, and 25% of a stockbroking house. I had liquor stores. I had rural interests. But, you know, I still was never free. I had the big house on the river here in Perth, and I had the 2 Mercedes-Benzes and the Rolex watches and all those, you know, those things of success. But I still wasn't free. And then we had a recession where, you know, what's happening around the world at the moment, and I'm trying to keep everything together. In the end, everything collapsed. I ended up losing over $21 million, and that was 32 years ago. And, you know, I was under a lot of stress. You know, I wasn't eating properly, and I gained a lot of weight. And just watching my dreams go up in smoke. It's really one of my old friends that tapped me on the shoulder and said, Kim, I can help you lose your weight, but more importantly, I can help you regain all your wealth and much, much more. And he showed me the opportunity. Look, to tell you the truth, in the beginning, I thought, nah, this is for housewives, not for a businessman. You know, my ego wouldn't let me. But then, you know, when I saw what was happening in the company, in the business, I said, okay, what do I need to do? Okay, get registered, get on, you know, the fastest program, and get a result, because you can't promote something you're not using. So that's what I did. And hey, the products work for me. I lost 27 kilos. I've kept it off now for 32 years. And my skin got better. I stayed young. The only thing is didn't do much for the hair. Both Wayne and I know that, you know, in Bollywood, the bald men are normally the villains. We jump out of the tree, you know, when it's not the right time. But I'm telling you, we're here to try to help you achieve your vision, you know, of 100,000 new people using the product. So look, for me, you know, I took this seriously. I made $2,000 in my first month just building a consumer group around my family and my friends. And then I went to an event, a corporate event, where I saw a housewife come up on stage that said, last month I made $50,000. I went, what? If she can do that, what can I do? I put a recruiting plan into place and built a team. 8 months later, I got to a position where I was earning over $10,000 a month in royalties. In our business, I'm talking really to some of maybe the customers that may not know the terms in our business, but that was the global expansion team. And then the company was opening up in Indonesia. I had a very good friend over there. I mentioned his name, Faisal Solihin. I went over to help him. By helping him get what he wanted, my income went to over $20,000 a month. So here's the first clue. To the direct effect that you help other people get what they want, you'll get much, much more. I continue to look for leadership. And that's what I've always done. I've always focused at looking for leadership, and I'll explain that a little bit more when we talk about goals for 2024. So, and I've been blessed. You know, I've got 3 diamond lines, and underneath those lines, we've worked together with helping those people, that leadership, find leadership and set more goals and have a bigger picture of what this opportunity can give you and your family. And now we've got over 39 president team members in that group. And then a president team member is somebody that makes that, you know, 30,000 plus per month. 5 of my people make over 75,000 US dollars a month. So Mariani and I, my wife and I, are very blessed. We had the beautiful house and the cars and the trinkets and all the rest of the things. But we're still looking for leadership. We're still looking for those key people. So I've got certain goals for 2024. Now, as Wayne said, we've been doing a number of these calls. We've actually done 2 calls on goal setting. And I'm going to send those 2 calls. They go for an hour each. I'm going to send Giant the link of the recordings so that he can send them to every one of you. Because there's 2 parts of goal setting. Number 1 is the philosophy and the attitude that you need to have in the beginning, all those philosophies. And then there is the plan of action. Now, today, we'll just look at the plan of action. And on this recording, you need to go back and listen to it a couple of times, take lots of notes, but to get you the philosophies, you know, of what you need to help you achieve your goals. Because if we had to do this as a goal setting session, it would probably take us 3 hours, okay? And hey, you know, I'm sure not everybody's got 3 hours to be listening to me. So you'll have the videos, we'll send that, and everything comes from, you know, a best-selling book I wrote called The Magic of Written Goals, How to Turn Your Dreams into Reality. It became a bestseller on Amazon. You can buy the hard copy, or you can download a digital copy from Amazon. But and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So first thing is, and a lot of this is also what Jim Rohn taught us. Remember Giant in I think it was in, where was it, Phuket? I think there were special, you know, Jim Rohn school that we had.
It was in Phuket.
That's right, Phuket, yeah. And so a lot of this information is from Jim, but I'm also putting in all the other things that I learned on the way as well. And people like Paul J. Meyer, who was one of my early mentors when I was very young. And Paul J. Meyer, he wrote, and let me just, you know, quote this to you. He wrote a quote that said, "Whatever you vividly imagine, ardently desire, and sincerely believe, and enthusiastically act upon must inevitably come to pass." So here's the key words: vividly imagine. Then it needs to be ardently desire. It needs to be, what does ardently mean? It means a burning desire. It means that you really want it so badly. Then sincerely believe like you already have it. And then you need to be enthusiastically acting upon it. Nothing happens unless you actually act upon it. And then it will come to pass. So I'm going to talk to you about putting a plan of action in place. So I hope everybody's got their journals, okay, or somewhere where they can write, and get your journal out. You can either, get a page and write 8 columns, draw lines with 8 columns, or you can have 1 page for each column that I'm going to mention here. So we're going to do a little bit of goal setting, putting this plan of action into place. So the first page, you need to write what the goal is. That's the first thing that needs to be written up there. And if you remember what I said about Paul J. Meyer's quote, whatever you vividly imagine. So what it has to be, you have to write it down clearly defined. It's got to be crystal clear. Remember the title of my book, The Magic of Written Goals. It actually needs to be written with a pen and on paper. There's something magical that happens when you put your pen to paper. It's like you're telling, this is what I want. And I want you to understand that our mind, our subconscious is a goal-seeking mechanism. It does everything that we do. Our subconscious, when we drive a car, we're not mainly doing it subconsciously. We don't think about everything that we're doing. If you've ever driven somewhere and you've drifted off with your mind and you've gone, oh, hang on, why am I here? I didn't, because we were driving it automatically. Okay, so everything we do is automatic. Our conscious mind is what tells our subconscious mind what to do. So the first thing needs to be, your goal needs to be crystal clear. It needs to be, now, so if it's a car, if that's what you want, if your goal is a car, it needs to be crystal clear. It needs to be, what color is it? What sort of tires? What's the leather? What color is the leather? You've got to get like all your 6 senses working on it. It's got to be written down in so much detail to be crystal clear. And I know, Wayne, maybe if you can share, but I know that sometimes you do a lot of meditating, your meditation. You also visualize on the screen of your mind what you're wanting. It's got to be crystal clear, because if you can't see it in your mind, you're not going to be able to achieve it. Oh, you're muted. Sorry, I think you're muted. Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Giant. I mean, your mind, when you meditate, doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality. So if you can actually sit there and vividly imagine something and actually live in that space in your mind's eye, you gravitate towards it, and the law of attraction starts working for you, and things start manifesting. This thing in life called coincidence, or serendipity is the right word, where things just seem to align and fall into place because the universe is conspiring to work to your advantage. So to write something down, to meditate on exactly what you want, sends that message to coexist with the universe to say, he's serious, she's serious, we better start delivering. And they're acting upon what they're saying, and they've got such a desire that they're not even sleeping, they're acting 20, and they're thinking about it has to come to pass. Okay, so it's really, so I love that quote, that Paul J. Meyer quote, because if you apply every section of it, it does make sense. And yeah, meditating on what you want has to, for me, it's a daily practice.
Yeah. It's we've probably achieved goals in our life that we really wanted badly. We were dreaming about it. When we woke up in the morning, we were dreaming about, and we got it because it was clearly defined. So you can now put it on paper. You can make your own decision. You are, I suppose you're the creator of your own universe. And all you've got to do is dream big enough. I always used to say, hey, listen, aim your arrow. Don't aim it at the eagle, because if you miss the eagle, you hit a rock. Aim your arrow at the moon. And if you miss the moon, it's still in the stars. So aim big as you set your goals, but it's got to be crystal clear. Make sure that it's crystal clear and written. So sometimes when people say, I want to get to the global expansion team, get my income to between 5 to 10,000 a month, or millionaire team, that's, between 15 to 30,000 a month, or I want to get to the president's team, So what is that? You need to write it down clearly defined. I know Get Team in our country, you need about 25 supervisors in your 3 levels, to get you to that position. So you need to write that down, 25 supervisors in my 3 levels. If it's millionaire team, it's about 55 supervisors in my 3 levels. If it's president's team, it's 125 in my 3 levels. Now, I want you to be careful with this, because, sometimes we put our vision out there and we go, oh, we've got to help 100,000 new people. That's our mission. That's important. But how do we help that? And that's why Mark put this opportunity together for us. That's why Mark, when he put this marketing plan together for us, he knew that we could only look after so many customers each. But if we can't look after, so we need help. That means we need to recruit leadership. For me, when I came into this, I looked at it like, oh, okay. So if somebody was saying, well, here you are, here's the money, here's the land, build me Ford Motor Company. What are you going to do? Are you going to recruit the people on the production line first? Or are you going to find your 5 general managers, general manager of design, general manager of finance, general manager of distribution, the general manager of each different department? So that's what I was thinking. My goal was, okay, how can I make an impact on Indonesia? Okay, I'm looking for my diamond lines in Indonesia, 2 diamond lines, and then help them get their diamond lines, and then help them get their diamond lines. And hey, 60% of the business that happens in Indonesia is underneath my group. So I've made an impact in changing people's lives. So that's how we've got to think. So get back to your coach, get back to your mentor, your tabulated team member, sit down there. And by the way, so I know that there's some customers out there, and I'm talking about, maybe things that are going over your head. But, if you're not a supervisor yet, hey, just go supervisor. It activates the marketing plan. That's the position that, everything happens. Then you can build. You can get the best retail, the best wholesale, and you can start earning royalties. And that's what I did. I was just focused on. Today, I'm still focused on that. I'm looking for my new diamond lines. Who's that person that I can help to build another distribution group underneath? So once you've set that and work with your coach, what does that look like?
Can I just add to that, Kim, just for one sec?
Yep.
Because one of the things, and I know you taught me and we teach a lot of people, is to maybe even write the speech as if you've already achieved your goal, okay? And when you talk about visualizing, you can imagine for the people on this call that are listening to this, and you're now accepting, you're about to be pinned your president's team. What are you going to say? Who are you going to thank? What does your organization look like? What city did they come from? Okay. Are they members of your family? Are they members of your team? Sometimes it's really nice to actually rehearse your president's team speech or your millionaire team speech, and make sure, Kim, I think it's a good idea when we do this, is to define those goals with a date. You know what I mean? Otherwise it becomes, I suppose, a wish, and you're just wishing for something to happen. But a clearly defined goal for me is, once you've crystallized it, is you can put a date to it as well. Is that correct?
Yep, absolutely. And we'll get to that. I just want to get everybody to make sure that they got their goal crystal clear. Next column or the next page, I want you to write on the top, roadblocks and obstacles.
Yes.
Okay, roadblocks and obstacles. Now, what this means is, it's like the example, if there's a forest, okay, and there's a pot of gold at the end of the forest, way at the other end. So you want to get to that pot of gold. And so you start working towards it. It's president's team or get team or millionaire team. And all of a sudden you fall down a creek, and then you hit a tree and then a rock and you're on your journey. And then you go, okay, which way do I got to go? I don't know. I'm a little bit lost. So what I want, roadblocks and obstacles, it needs to be written out. You need to write it down. This is a plan of action. Write down all the things that are going to stop you. It's like climbing that first tree in that forest and looking down there and going, oh, yes, there's the pot of gold. Now, I won't go that way because there's a creek down there and there's a big tree there and a big rock here. I know the way now. So this will save us time when we come across roadblocks and obstacles in pursuit of what we want. And, maybe you can write some of these down. I'm not going to do it for you. You need to work on it yourself. These are your goals. But sometimes we write things down like, oh, I don't have time. So put time down. That's a roadblock and obstacle. Maybe money. I don't have money. My spouse. Maybe that's a roadblock and obstacle. My children is maybe a roadblock. My age. Maybe my association. So, or your associations, the people that you hang around with. So all those things, or maybe it's just fear, fear of rejection or fear of what other people will think. By the way, let me tell you the truth. Here's the biggest secret. They're not thinking about you. They're only thinking about themselves. So cut the fear, run full force. And, you just got to write down all of those different things that are stopping you. Wayne, I don't know. Do you know, maybe we can help some people think about the roadblocks and obstacles that many of them have?
I think a lot of people, Kim, in my experience, when they are goal setting, they have limiting beliefs. And one of them is, I'm not worthy. It's all right for him. Oh, look, he's good looking. Oh, he's in a nice situation. Oh, he's been brought up with a better education. And a lot of people crush their dreams by way of comparison all the time. And I think that's a big tragedy because there are a lot of good people out there. And when they get to know a lot of the president's team or get to associate with a lot of the people that have achieved, they go, what? They're just like me. Yeah, they're no different. They've just worked a little bit harder, believed a little bit more, have had more rejections, have been a little bit more consistent. And that's the magic, I think, of Herbalife anyhow, Kim, that, it doesn't matter who you are. If you get your mind right, like you've touched on, to say, I am worthy and I can achieve it, there's nothing in my mind that can be in your way except you. So
Absolutely.
I think the real key is if you believe it with that burning desire that you want to achieve it, it doesn't matter what your situation is, you can get there.
Yeah. So what have we got? We've got our goal. We've got our roadblocks and obstacles that are stopping us. So here's the next page to write on the top or in the column. Okay. And what are they? The solutions. So what's the solution of time? What's the solution of no money? What's the solution of, well, my wife doesn't or my husband doesn't support me? What's my solution? Oh, it's my children. Well, what's my solution? I'm not worthy. How am I going to work on myself? What are those things, the solutions to your roadblocks and obstacles? Now, this is the key. You see, personal development is the ability to overcome roadblocks and obstacles in pursuit of a predetermined worthwhile goal. So it's the overcoming of those obstacles that becomes personal development. And once you overcome it, then you have personal growth. Okay. So I know that this is, maybe, But if it's written down, you're going to go, okay, so how am I going to get more money? Well, look, there's books. You can go to the library. Somebody's written a book about it. I mean, I know somebody that wrote a book called The Magic of Written Goals, How to Turn Your Dreams into Reality. Somebody's written a goal on how to live with another person. And somebody's written a book on, on everything that you want. It's in the libraries, the greatest things. So we need to go back and have a look at how to overcome those things. How to overcome money, there's books written about how to overcome money, how to overcome. So we're not here to give you all the answers. It's up to you to look for those solutions. And this is when it's time that you sit down and go, okay, what are the solutions? All right, maybe I need some help. I need to talk to my coach, my mentor, my sponsor. And what do you reckon about this? Is this a solution to this obstacle? And that's what mentors and coaches are all about, working with you to overcome those roadblocks and obstacles. And that's where your personal development needs to be working on. So what have we got? We got our goal. We got our roadblocks and obstacles. Now we've got our solutions. What's next? And Wayne mentioned it. We've got to have time. What's the time? When are we going to do it? So you actually got to write down, John, did you have your hand up?
Yes, I was just listening to the solutions you were telling me, and most of my Herbalife problems, the solution comes to me by saying, I need to find more new people. I need to create new leadership. Here is a solution to all my Herbalife problems. I love it.
That's quite true. I was talking to Wayne and I said, let's have a look. Wayne, what is the one thing, if we just did one thing in Herbalife what's the one thing that affects everything? And then, you know what it is? Frontline recruiting. If you just focused on frontline recruiting, it affects everything. So, so there's a solution. But time is really important. If you put the time too far out, like you say, okay, I'm going to put that down. All right. So how am I going to get to, by the way, you need to understand one of the philosophies is the 80-20 rule. Okay. Now, the 80-20 rule means that 80% of your people will give you 20% of your income and 20% of your people give you 80% of your income. How did I learn this? I remember I had, 10 salesmen when I was in the property business. I'd send those 10 salesmen out to sell property. 2 would sell 80% and the other 8 would sell the 20%. I thought, maybe I'll get rid of the 8 and then I only have to work with 2. Guess what? Sales went down. Apparently, you need the 8 to make the 2 work. And it's the same. Even if you look at your closet in your home of all your clothes, you only wear 20%. The other 80%, I don't know what's there. It's just to make, fill the space up. So understand this. If we were looking for our 5 key people, our 5 supervisors, our 5 tab team lines, or our 5 diamond lines, I'm sorry, but it's not going to be the first 5. We might have to find, 25 to find, for me to get to the president's team, it's 1 out of 5. So it should take 25. For me, it was 33. I had to find 33 frontline supervisors to get to the president's team. So whatever your numbers are, they don't work out for everybody, but you just got to work it out for you. Now, so if you say, all right, I can do it in 5 years. Well, the law of diminishing intent gets you because you go, I've got lots of time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll start next week because I got 5 years. It's like, so it can't be too far in the future. It can't be too close. I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to do it this year. So you work out, that means I've got to get 5 frontline supervisors a month. And then the first month goes past and you've got 1 and you go, you've just blown yourself up. It's just too close. So you've got to sit with your mentor, your coach, Okay, don't put it too far in the future, but put it that's achievable, that you can see that you can achieve it, so that you can say, okay, you know, if it's 2 soups a month, great. 2 frontline supervisors a month. That means I can take 2 years to get my 25, and with a bit of time, I'm going to get to the president's team in 3 to 5 years. No problem. That will happen. So it's important. We have a phrase in our country that says, inch by inch, it's a cinch, yard by yard, it's hard. So you need to incrementalize it. You know, I know that, what do they call it? Reverse engineer. You know, you want to get to the presidency, reverse engineer. What do I need to do every day? What do I need to do each month? What do I need to do? You know, reverse engineer it. When Apple first came out with their Apple phone, then Samsung and all the rest of them went, oh, we better pull it apart and then reverse engineer it. And now they're probably making better phones. So it's, you know, it's important in this time structure to reverse engineer it, to make it what you need to do. And I sometimes when you look at it and you go, oh, I'm never going to be one of those people. You're talking to yourself, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but you're saying, oh, look at them. Am I ever going to get there? And you're talking to yourself, you're talking some negative things to yourself. Because sometimes if it's too big, it becomes, you freeze. You know, in our country, we have country roads, and if you're driving at night and a rabbit comes out in the front and the headlights go to the rabbit freezes, you know, and it hits by the car. So we sometimes freeze when our goal is too big. So what you need to be able to do is just look at the next step. What's the next step? You know, you want to lose weight? Don't look at the weight, you know, okay, 5 kilos a month, I've got to lose 15 kilos, so it's going to take 3 months. Don't look at that. Look at what do I need to do in what are my next 3 meals? You know, 2 shakes, 1 meal. I've got to look at the next few steps. So you incrementalize it, so you're looking at what you need to do every day. If you need to get your 2 soups a month or your 5 soups a month, whatever that is, incrementalize it. What do I need to do every day? And then you can forget about it. Just focus on your steps, your next steps.
Kim, can I just add something here? Because, you know, I'm making copious notes as you're talking. And hopefully many people who are live listening to Kim here, and perhaps some people who are watching the recording, really are honest with themselves about some of the information that Kim's sharing with you right now. You know, I look at the 4 points that Kim's already covered, the 4 columns, and realistically, sometimes you might not honestly list in your heart with sincerity the real obstacles that are in your way. Sometimes you may not write down what you think the solution is. And some of you may not even contact your upline, you know, tab team member or president's team member to discuss this with you. And for me at this time of the year, real talk is that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy because the time will go very, very fast. This is a perfect time, Kim, right now to, even at this point, I know you've only covered 4 of the columns, that when people are writing down this information and doing the homework, do it in a place where you're sitting in silence and you're really genuinely, sincerely taking the time to make these columns complete in their lists. List everything. I'm scared. I'm really nervous. I don't have the skills. I don't have the confidence. No one's taught me. My method of operation is not right. I am not in a flow. Okay, and if that is an obstacle that is stopping you, the solution is speak to someone who is in flow that resonates with you. Get advice to say, if they can do it, why not me? Why not now? With the 100 people on this Zoom call, for me, I want everyone to be a president's team member and earn lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of money every single month. Not just for the few people, but you've got to sit in a place, Kim, where you know, the personal development and overcoming the obstacles, it has to be real, doesn't it? You have to employ that. You know, it's no point in you and I being nice here, is what I'm thinking. You know, you've got to be real. You know,
Yeah.
and this is real talk for you guys about leadership development, about becoming better than what you are in 2024. I listen to this and I say, it doesn't matter what you're doing now. It's what you're not doing that matters. Okay. And there are things here that we can overcome and learn and apply. Sorry, Kim, I just wanted to throw that in because, you know, I get really emotional about this because I've seen you change people's lives and I want everyone to think, wow, this is my opportunity. Sorry, Kim, back to you.
No, absolutely. And, you know, it's something that you have to keep on working on. You can't just stop. I'm still working on my goals. I'm still working on, you know, oh God, look, I hit an obstacle and roadblock and I'm hanging around here for 2 weeks thinking, how am I going to solve this? Why didn't I see this earlier? Why didn't I have the solution earlier? So it's important. This will save you time. This will save you hurt. This will save you headaches, you know, by doing the work first. You know, Jim Rohn said, when's the best time to plan your day? The night before. So, you know, when's the best time to plan your life? The night before. So, you know, this is the time. And in that time structure, when you've got that time, this is the point where you also can maybe look at, I know that sometimes getting to that position, look, I was making good money at Millionaire Team or nearly President's Team. I wanted to get to the President's Team. I wanted the pin and all those things, but I sometimes needed that little extra, you know. So maybe there, put a little present for yourself. Give yourself a present for achieving the goal. And for me, I've certainly my president I gave myself when I went President's Team is that when I was a property developer, and I remember I told you I lost $21 million, I had a gold Rolex, you know, and I had to hock it to pay the staff. I had to sell it to pay the staff. And I said to myself, you know, when I get to the President's Team, I could buy it before that, but I said, when I get to the President's Team, that's my gift to myself. I'm going to get that's my little gift. And, you know, when I went President's Team, that's when I went and bought my gold Rolex. And then when I went 15K, I got the diamonds around the same watch. So sometimes you need to have the little present that you give yourself. Okay, that could be anything. Could be that you could be saying to your children, look, you know, if I get there, we're going to take the family and we're going to go to Disneyland. That's the present. You know, so sometimes you need to look at that when you're setting those goals, because you need to talk to the family. You know, you say, hey, listen, I'm not going to be around so much because I'm working really hard. So please, but if I do this, we're going to go to Disneyland. So you've got to have all those things in place. Now, the next column or the next page, I want you to write on top there, reasons. This is for Jim Rohn. Reasons, emotional reasons. You got the longer the list of reasons, and they've got to be emotional. You know, you've got to write a paragraph on how am I going to feel? How's my wife or my husband going to feel? How's my children going to feel? How's my parents going to feel when I get to this position? And maybe the goal is that you want to buy a new house for your parents, you know? So how are they going to feel? How am I going to feel by giving them that house? You know, so whatever your goals are, there can be tangible goals, intangible goals, but it's got to be a long list of emotional reasons. So you've got to write all the emotional reasons and of how you're going to feel in all those in those areas. It's really important. Next column, okay, on the top. And Wayne spoke about it a little bit earlier, the next two columns, and that is affirmation. Put on the top, affirmations. Now, what is an affirmation? An affirmation is a positive or negative statement, you know, because it works both ways, that you say to yourself. It's a statement that you say to yourself, okay, or you say out aloud. Now, here's the biggest problem. A lot of us saying negative affirmations. So we're telling ourselves negative affirmations. So it can't be like, I want to lose 15 kilos. See, that's the wrong affirmation. That's telling your subconscious, oh, okay. So the subconscious goes, oh, okay, I will help you in the wanting to lose 15 kilos. So it's got to be said in a present state that you already have it. So the best way is I am or I have, not I want. When you say I want to, or I want a Mercedes-Benz, or I want a house, your subconscious is looking at the wanting to. And it's also creating lack thinking, because your subconscious is going, but you don't have it. Therefore, you're in lack thought. So you're wanting to, and this is a hard one. You need to say, I am a president team member. If that's what you want, I am a president, or I am a chairman's club member. I am. Because once you do that, the subconscious goes, well, you are. We better start working on it. We better start looking for the right people. Put them in front of you so that you can get to that position. So all of those things start to come in play. Affirmation is really important. Jim Rohn said, stand guard at the door of your mind. Sometimes we get all our goals right, we get our, timing right, our roadblocks and obstacles, everything else, and then we sabotage ourselves with negative affirmations. And we're wondering, how come I'm not getting these goals? Because we're actually telling our subconscious, no, I want the wanting to, not the have to. So the affirmation has to be like you already have it. You already got it. And then you're in that mode of gratitude. So if you say to yourself, I have a Rolls Royce, or I have a Mercedes-Benz, I have it, but now I've just got to go to work. What it's saying is that, okay, thank you. Thank you for giving it. You should be saying, thank you for giving it to me. Thank you. Thank you for the abundance in my life. And once you give thanks, and you give gratitude for the abundance in your life, everything what Wayne was talking about earlier, the universe starts to give to you, because all of a sudden, yes, he's already, better give it to him now. I mean, so these things start to come into play. So affirmations are really important. And, look, I know Wayne does. Look, if you just go on YouTube and type in affirmations, you'll get a number of people that have put little 20-minute videos on affirmations to tell yourself in a positive sense of what you need to be inputting into our subconscious, in our goal-seeking mechanism in our mind. So real important. Now, next one, I know we're running out of time. Next one, that is visualization. Okay. Visualization, that's important. And Wayne mentioned it earlier. The mind does not know the difference between imagined thought and reality. So you need to visualize. You need to either put a dream board together. I like Daruma dolls. This is a Japanese wishing doll here that I have. And when it comes, it doesn't have any eyes. And what you do is you set a goal and then you color one eye in. And then once you've achieved your goal, you can color the second eye in. And the reason why he's round and made out of plaster of Paris is that, hey, there's a Japanese phrase that says, if he fall over 7 times, but come back up 8. So you may fall down 7 times, but it's about the getting back up. It's the getting back up. Now, sometimes I prefer a goals book, putting my goals in a book, because then I can close it up. I know people that have done dream boards, but the only problem with the dream board, that's why I like the Daruma doll, he knows what my goal, or she knows what my goal is. But when you're looking at your dream board, you're looking and saying, oh, I don't have that house. So subconsciously, you're telling your mind, I don't have, therefore you're in lack thinking. So it's working against you. So get your dream board together and then hide it. because you don't need it anymore. You've set the dream. Okay, so you've got it, you've put it aside, and then look at it at the end of the year. You know, then you can look at it. Now, the last column. I know this is the most important one. Okay, it's action. All right, the word action. All right. So, what are the things that you're going to do? You know, so it comes out. Well, what are the things? What are the action you're going to take now to achieve those things? For me, when I looked at my car, the thing that I wanted, now I don't want everybody to do this. I'm a bit of old school. When I say old school, I go and commit. I go and write the contract out. I'll go and order the car. It's going to be arriving in 12 months' time. I'll put a deposit down. Oh my God, now I really have to work. Sometimes we do things for have tos rather than want tos. So I go, oh my God, I put the deposit, I'm going to lose the deposit. I'm going to look like an idiot at the car dealership. I better get to work. I better get the money. I better do the things. And guess what? We do more. I don't want everybody to go and do that. That's my old school thinking. But sometimes we need to have tos in our life. Sometimes we all got want tos. We don't do anything unless we have to. And sometimes when we get to the president's team like Wayne and Giant and so forth, we're very comfortable. We don't have the hunger that we had in the beginning. The more have to. So sometimes we have to, put ourselves in that position of creating a have to, where I have to make it happen no matter what. So put it down and work with your coach on what the action plan is to achieve it, if that's what you're wanting to achieve in the business. But if it's just, a car, a house for your parents, or a house, whatever those things are, you need to have a coach as well that you can talk to somebody about. Maybe partner up with a like-minded person, like Wayne and I are working together at the moment. He pushes me, and sometimes I'm not as pushy as me pushing him, but and I'm really grateful for that. We need somebody to help push us in different things. So maybe look at that. But here's the conclusion. The most important benefit of setting goals, this is from Jim Rohn, isn't achieving your goal. It's what you do and the person you become in order to achieve your goals. And that's the real benefit. And I want you to understand that the philosophies, that you need to have, your personal philosophy is your greatest determining factor on how your life works out. That's from Jim. And only human beings can reorder their life any day they choose, but just by refining their philosophy. So I hope today that we've maybe refined your philosophy and gone, okay, I'm going to listen to that recording that Giant's going to send me, or Kim's going to send to Giant. I'm going to work a little bit harder on my roadblocks and obstacles and what are the solutions. I'm going to sit down with my coach and my mentor and work out if that's the right time and what's my gauge sheet look like, the things that I have to do to measure how am I going in that timesheet. And then, we look forward to seeing you at one of the major events. And, I hope that you come up to Wayne and I and go, hey, listen, thank you. Thank you for that session that you did. And, this is what's happened to me because I put down on paper,
I need to ask you a question. Kim, I need to ask you a question. Giant, can I ask Kim a question? Because I don't want 100 people now to ask Kim a question, but I've got one question that I want to ask, if that's all right, Kim, as this is unrehearsed, on behalf of everyone. Because I think these notes are golden. I think they're just golden. And again, I don't know how many times I've written them, but every time I write them down again and do my columns, it crystallizes again everything that I need to do. But here's my question to you. I want cheerleaders to help me. I know I can do some things I can do myself. I can do my visualization because that's something that I need to do. And I can set aside Wayne time to do my affirmations. But when it comes to cheerleaders, by association, am I going to post something up on social media to say, in 3 months' time, I'm going to recruit 100 people and I'm going to be together. I'm going to go VIP and I'm going to have, do I publicly announce my goals? Question. Or do I work a little bit in silence and just let my actions speak louder than my words? There's 2 questions. And my third question is, when it comes to my family, and, I want to obviously say to my family who are, they're the emotional thing, I'm going to borrow some time. Do I sit down with them and discuss what dad's going to do, what mum's going to do? So when I action everything, my real question is, who do I tell? Who do I share this with?
Yeah. I wouldn't share it with everybody on Facebook, okay? Because you look, there are people out there that they don't want you to, they don't want you to grow. That makes them feel bad. They feel bad when they go, oh, I hope he doesn't get there because he'll, and you're wanting those cheerleaders internally, okay? Association is really important. And within Herbalife, your peer groups, when we're all thinking the same way, you can tell a couple of your people, the person that you're working with or your mentor and your coach, this is what I want to do. Help me put it down on paper and get me right. And then you've got somebody that will cheer you on and say, look, I'm right behind you. I'm not going to do it for you. I'll work with you. Let's do it together. I'll walk with you on that journey. With your family, it is important to sit down and say, look, I've put this plan together and I've got this and it's going to take some time, but, I might stumble, but I believe that I'm going to get there. I'm going to do everything necessary and I need your help to go, Dad, don't sit back and watch TV. Get out there, get out to work, go and talk to somebody because we want to go to Disneyland. So you've got that little extra have to. I think it's important that, to have your family support. Sometimes if you don't have a supportive partner, that actually could be the blessing because sometimes you go, I'm going to show them. I'm going to make sure I'm going to really show them. And sometimes a little bit of revenge is a bit of power. So sometimes it can work that way. But, I wouldn't tell everybody, just do the action. And then, when you get there, everyone's going, wow, he was lucky. No, he wasn't lucky. He wrote his goals down. He worked on his roadblocks and obstacles. He worked on his solutions. He read all the books. He did what was necessary. He did the tedious, mundane over and over and over because that's what it is. I'm sorry to say. You're going to have to, it's tedious and mundane. The biggest problem is you're going to have a lot of people that go, nah, I'm not interested. Nah, I'm not interested. Nah, I'm not interested. And you go, yes, the quicker I get through this, I'm going to get a yes. That's all it is. So
that's a perfect answer. Everyone in India listening to this live, hopefully Kim has enlightened you to expand your mind to the greater potential of how you can actually set yourselves up. Giant, we're going to hand the call back to you. I know we're a little bit over the time, but I just want to thank Kim personally because, again, I speak to him 3-4 times a day, and still every time I speak to him, I make the notes because sometimes he just says it and it's like I'm hearing it for the first time again. Over to you, Giant.
What an unbelievable session. I want to thank you, Kim. Even Preeti is sitting next to me and she's going, wow, that is amazing. As you were going through this session, जब आप ये session कर रहे थे, I was sitting there and thinking, I want my son to learn this skill. मैं चाहता हूं कि प्रजे goal setting और goals लिखना और ये 8 चीजें सीखें. I was really thinking that I want Prajay to learn this so that he can be whoever he wants. And I really was sitting here and thinking that this is something I need to have for my son. That is how much of an impact this has had on me today. आप सबके लिए जब मिस्टर किम ब्रोमर एंड मिस्टर वेन लेवी बात कर रहे थे, मुझे बहुत क्लियरली ये लग रहा था कि मुझे प्रजे को ये लाइफ स्किल जरूर देना. You know, the second thing I thought was, I have learned this in bits and pieces. मैंने ये टुकड़ों में सीखा है. काश मुझे गोल सेटिंग और ये 8 स्टेप्स पहले पता होता. I wish I had such an organized structure and such a simple and a beautiful pathway earlier. I would have been way up on the journey to my dreams that I can't even imagine. Magar, I think whatever has happened has happened. The time is now. Now I know this. जो हो गया सो हो गया, मगर अब मुझे ये पता है कि मैं ये 8 कदम उठाऊं. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, Section 4, Section 5, Section 6, Section 7, Section 8, और कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ूं कि मैं अपनी जिंदगी में जो भी हासिल करना चाहूं कर सकूं. You know, the things you said really opened up, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, and one more thing I realized, और जो आज मैं आप सबके सामने बोलता हूं, I have had access to Wayne and Kim for years, and I am surprised why I never reached out to you earlier. मतलब मैं अपने आप के बारे में सोच रहा हूं कि मेरे पास Wayne and Kim, and I'm fortunate कि they are on my speed dial. मगर मैं कभी उनको मैंने फोन नहीं किया और उनको रिक्वेस्ट किया कि प्लीज आप हमारे को ऐसे गाइड कर दीजिए. And I think we all make that mistake. We all have that fear of reaching out. We all have, and I think we need to overcome that. And you know, that is what makes us better. And I think all I can tell Kim, to you and to you, Wayne, you make us better. That is all I can say to you, is you make us better, you make our team better, you make us better people, better human beings, better Herbalife distributors. And we are just blessed to have the both of you in our lives. And we'll reach out to you a lot more.
Let me respond. I mean, you know that you and I are family. You know, we've grown up together. We've known each other a long time. Kim and I have been associated for, you know, I don't know, 30 years. And we are of a Mark Hughes philosophy. It will take each of us to make all of us successful. But there's 3 things I want to share with us all now. Kim gave me a beautiful quote the other day that I know he has written on his desk that I want him to share. Kim, if you can just, you know, get your Kobe Bryant philosophy, because this is what's really important about today's session. It's Kim, over to you, and then I'll come back. So what did you learn from the late, great Kobe Bryant basketball player?
Yeah, the late, great Kobe Bryant. There's many lessons that he teaches, and but one of the greatest was he was asked, what is his definition of greatness? And he said, the definition of greatness is if you can inspire the person next to you that can then inspire his person next to him, and it doesn't live or die just in one person, that it can continue on. And that is greatness. And that's what we have. If we can inspire one person to change their health, one person to not only, you know, change their financial future, that can inspire somebody else. So it's within our stories. Our stories can help to inspire somebody that can then inspire others. And that's when we can really make an impact and become. That's what the definition of greatness is.
It's such a beautiful mantra because we are all playing it forward. And, you know, it's what we've learned, and through us, through us will be assisting so many more people, but it's now through you. As you've got this information, work on it so you can understand it and teach it to the children, like Giant can teach now his son, and maybe his son will learn a lesson that maybe may teach his children down the track. I got a lesson from my dad. I want to teach it, and this legacy can go on and on. Just in closing for myself, Giant, I do want to say this, that, and if everyone can just write this down in their notes, leadership and wise people seek to see the value in the information that they don't yet understand. And what Giant said, it puts him in that wise person's class. When you're wise, you seek to see a learning in information that you yet don't understand. And this goal-setting action plan that was given to us from Kim, now as wise people, we have to learn to understand it, to make ourselves wiser, and then to teach it and pay it forward. Really, really important. The last thing I do want to say is this. India is like a second home to me. I have been there many times. I've attended weddings. I've been north, south, east, west, and have wonderful memories, good food, nice smells, World Cup experiences in the cricket. Although I might wear the Team India, because I'm on an Indian call. When Australia plays India in the World Cup, there's a bit of a dilemma. But here's a little secret. I'm coming back, and I will be back in 2024, okay? Kim may be coming to India as well in 2024. So everything is falling in place for us. As we see each other on a Zoom call, that's fantastic. But there is nothing better than seeing each other in person. And how would it be if Kim and I come to India one day in the not too distant future, and there's a presentation there where you can say, hey, I want you to introduce, I want you to physically meet this person in person. And that will be a great event for us all. So we look forward to that. We're not committing to a time and a date, but I will, and Giants, don't commit me to a time and a date, because I know what the next call is going to be. When are you coming? No, we're coming when the time's right. Okay, but it'll be really exciting for us all to get back and have a big, event for us all in India. Giant, back to you.
So, what can I say? I just want to thank Kim for really taking up the time, and, it's really, really incredible what you've done for us today. And I'm sure in the near future, a lot of people are going to walk up to you at a Herbalife President's Team or an honors event and say, I am living the life of my dreams because I learned goal setting from you, or I learned affirmations from you. And, when everyone lives a great life, thanks to what you did for me, thanks for what you've, done for people who are not even in your downline. Many of them live better lives, drive better cars, live in better homes, are better people. You've just impacted many generations, and it's really, we're just lucky to have you. This has possibly been the most amazing start for all of us. Yes, the next time India plays Australia, it's going to be a lot more fun. Having said that, as I got this special jersey for you, I got a special Herbalife. I got an Australia jersey for Prajay. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I can see the Herbalife badge from the MCG. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. We're going to invite you to the next Totally Fit game day. We are definitely going to pray. We can have an Aussie 11 versus the India 11, and Kim can join us. If nothing else, Kim, you can umpire for us. That would put you in some hot seat. We are not as docile when we are going after an umpire. I can tell you that. Isn't it amazing? So, guys,
Look,
get ready. Sorry, Kim.
no, thank you. Thank you to everybody in India, and love you all. You're all very special. I mean, you know, we're all in one. Look, we're all in one team, the Mark Hughes' team, and that's the way I feel about every one of us. So let's make 24 the biggest year ever for each of us, and for the other 100,000 new people that everybody's going to go and touch. So thank you for inviting me. I'm blessed to have all these people looking at me and sharing. And thank you, Wayne, for being my friend-tor, and thank you, John, for being my friend-tor. You don't know, but you've actually affected me as well. So and Pooja as well. There she is. Mariani and I wish to send a little wave and a kiss to you too. And okay, thank you. We'll see you at the next event.
Fantastic. And for the entire India team, as Kim said, video 1, video 2 is coming. And don't worry about the language. We will find a way to help you with your language. भाषा की कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी आपको. इंग्लिश, कन्नड़ा, जो भी लैंग्वेज आपको चाहिए, we will make sure that आपको वो मिले. And let's get excited for the 14th, because 14 तारीख हमारे बिजनेस के लिए एक बहुत ही unbelievable event होने वाला है. And by the way, for many of you, we are excited because 14 तारीख को we are going to have 3 diamond 20K, one of the top leaders of our company, Amol Khilare, coming in as a guest speaker for our academy. All right. बहुत कम seats बाकी हैं उस event के लिए. And by the way, getting Amol is very difficult. And luckily, Wayne, myself, and Amol were sitting and having coffee together, and that is when Wayne spoke to Amol, and we managed to get him for this. So 14 तारीख को Amol Khilare is our guest speaker. It is an online event and a in-person event. अगर आप कैलकाटा और कैलकाटा के आसपास रीजन में हैं, तो बिरला इंडस्ट्रियल टेक्नोलॉजिकल म्यूजियम के लिए ये इवेंट है. और अगर आप कहीं और से हैं, आप ऑनलाइन पार्टिसिपेट कर सकते हैं. बट जस्ट लाइक टुडे, इट विल बी अ सोल्ड आउट इवेंट. ऑनलाइन स्पेस में और फिजिकल स्पेस में कुल मिला के हमारे पास सिर्फ 19 सीटें बाकी. We have only about 19 seats remaining for the online and in-person combined. All right, and get ready, register now. Ask your upline tab team and do that. And once again, thanking Kim and Wayne and sending you guys lots of love. Maybe Pooja wants to say a quick word. Pooja, over to you.
Nothing. I'm just thank you, Kim, and thank you, Wayne. I have always I cannot tell you that how much you have changed our lives. So thank you.
I think that sums it all, Wayne and Kim. Sending you our regards and see you soon.
Thank you
in
for the
Lisbon and in India.
unconditional, like Jan said, thank you for the unconditional love and support you had for me. And because of that, a lot of presidency when 20Ks are having an extraordinary life. So sorry. Thank you.
We love you, Pooja. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Let's get ready for the 14th. And it's going to be an amazing start to 2024. Remember, सबका रिजल्ट आएगा, सबका चेक आएगा और सबका पिन बदलेगा. See you, everyone. Take care.
We love you. Thank you.